We're seeing Driveway Dolls. Let's go.
Huh?
Signing up is fast and easy with absolutely no commitment. Join Movie Club at 6months.com or in the Cinemark app and start saving.
Okay.
All right, so we're back.
Yay! Totally did not stay in the same spot.
Very chaotic.
Very chaotic.
Yeah.
And gay. Jamie, as a lesbian expert yourself, how did you feel about this? Was it very sapphic?
I felt very represented. There's lots of gay shit going on in this movie. Very chaotic. It was very be gay, do crimes, except they weren't really doing a crime, but it felt like they were. But yeah.
And they really went south.
More ways than one.
So, plot-wise, I think plot-wise, so knowing that this is like one of the Coen brothers, and I've seen like other Coen brother movies, and it's so funny because they have such a range. They go from serious like, No Country for Old Men, and then other movies like Fargo, where it's like comedic, and then this one was just straight chaos and comedy, and the way it's like edited transition, like it doesn't take itself that much.
There's
serious.
a lot of funky transitions in there, and at first I was like, this is weird, but then it really does fit the vibe of the whole movie because it's quirky, it's like I said already, chaotic. It's just a good time in general.
Yeah, I also like the celebrity guests that they have that have a total, like each of them like average they have like maybe like 3 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, I mean it's not really a spoiler, so we could just say the names. Like Miley Cyrus is in there, we have Matt Damon, Pedro Pascal. Not gonna lie, I did go into this movie expecting something completely different. I was I thought it was gonna be some sort of like Thelma and Louise type of movie.
Right.
But it turned it's so funny, it's a comedy, and it takes you on a wild ride. I will complain about one thing, not about the film, but my movie experience. I saw this twice, and both times I did not see other queer women in this theater. I only saw men that they're there by themselves, and maybe like with their like wives.
Wild.
But I was like, where were all the queer women? Why didn't the queer women show up for this movie?
Sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, when Pam and I sat down, we're like, what? It was only men. It was only men, like by themselves. I would say like pacing, the beginning of the movie, because like again, like you're still feeling out the vibe for the film. It felt a little off, but then when you realize like what direction the film was kind of going in, the pacing was like, okay, it's like quick cut action, like this is happening.
Yeah, it just moves the plot like keep going, let's move along.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised by the runtime. It was like an hour and like 27 minutes or so.
Yeah. It's such a raunchy film.
Very.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, the second scene after the whole opener is just the character Jamie eating this other character out. There's lots of boobs in this film.
Not that you're complaining.
Not that I'm complaining. I'm sure all of our audience would be like, interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting. My favorite scene was like the little flashback of Marianne as a kid jumping on a trampoline, seeing her neighbor topless, and just being like,
everyone's sexual awakening was different,
Yeah, you had the raunchy, like, sex-driven lesbians, you had the shy lesbians, you had the yeehaw lesbians, all kinds of lesbians.
I did like the character Beanie Feldstein played, the cop, but like the very aggressive, like, type cop.
Yeah, she's so funny.
Yeah, and especially with this scene with when the two hitmen or the two like guys are after come by, she just cursing him out. So when you curse like that and he starts beating this shit out, and the other guy's just like, hey, so we're looking for these girl. Like it's that's the also thing too, like the way that some of these characters act is like this feels like a Coen brother, like at least half of the Coen brothers movie. Like I just
Yeah, I love the dynamic between the two dudes. But anyway, we don't want to talk too much about it, so we're just going to get to our review.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start with representation.
For representation, we give it an 8. 7.
Give it a 7.
From you?
Yeah.
Why so low?
I mean, not like there was representation. I would say like a 7 for me is like average. I wouldn't say the queer representation they had was the best way to represent queer women. Like, I mean, obviously there are people out there like Jamie, but Jamie was just so like she cheated on her girlfriend in like the very beginning of the movie. She just kept sleeping with random people, and even her ex is like, if you put like a meter on her pussy, we'd all be rich.
That was a good one.
But yeah, I mean, like you had different types of queer women. Like you had Jamie, who was like very high sex drive, very like out there and raunchy, and then you had Marianne, who was like shy and reserved and wants to like only sleep with someone that they actually care about. So like it's there, but also it wasn't there. But again, it's a queer movie, so we'll take what we can get for now.
Fair enough. Next we say queer comfort.
So for queer comfort, we give it
a 9.
I give it a 9.5.
Like, would you watch this again?
Oh, I would totally watch it again because I already have. I needed the poster for it. Even though I said it's not the best form of queer representation, I was like highly looking forward to this movie, and I feel like it's just one of those movies people are going to be playing at their like queer movie nights and stuff like that, because it was huge, it was big. I love it. It was great. It's for the lesbians, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It's mostly for you. Well, I will say though, it is definitely. I could definitely see the comfort into it, and how do I say?
As a friend of lesbians.
As a friend of lesbians, it's pretty good.
Next up, originality.
And for originality, we give it a 7.
I give it a 9.
Okay. For me, it's a little low because this isn't a new type of movie where somebody has a certain item that the other person needs and they drive away to another place. Sounds like other movies I've seen. I mean, I guess one is like maybe Thelma and Louise. But, I also think of like other movies like No Country for Old Men, but they always find like an item and like, and they just take along. Okay. I mean, I guess this one they didn't even know they took anything until like later. So that's, I guess the more originality wise is like, that it's gay.
That it's gay. No, I totally get what you're saying.
That it's gay, and I guess a little shift and change, because I always thought that the two guys were like straight up hitmen. Well, except for the other guy who was very like gun happy trigger. Like I was expecting like more like murdery type things to happen.
Yeah.
But not that I expected it. So I think they were just more like thugs to like get something.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying in terms of like we've seen something similar to this before, but I feel like the base of the plot, yeah, maybe, but then it just kind of started branching out in different directions that we would not have expected it to go in, like something we've seen already. I
will say, I've seen cases where like the bat containers are like it's either drugs or money. Dildos is definitely the last thing I expected, so that was very original to make the most important item they have.
I want to know the thought process behind this movie.
All right, next up is writing.
All right, so for writing, we give it a 6. Of course you did.
6.9.
You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. Like I said, 7 for me is like pretty average. I feel like this my definition of a 7 for writing with this movie, it's like you're here for a good time, not a long time. It was a fun movie. It wasn't necessarily like the best queer movie I've ever seen, but it was definitely one of the more fun queer movies I've watched. I would say, like I said, pacing was a little awkward in the beginning once you weren't used to the vibe of the film. I feel like some characters, like, arcs were like, wait, what happened to them? Though, like, yeah. I would have liked to learn more about certain things that happen in the film. But again, not complaining, still a very fun time.
Dialogue, though, was pretty funny, though. Some of the dialogues was...
a lot of good one-liners.
Yeah. It's very good. And it's true, some of the characters felt like they were supposed to be, like they're important, but they also felt like throwaways at the same time. Like Pedro Pascal, I remember when the trailer came out, he was like, they were putting him as the main highlight a bit in the movie, and he was like only there for like in the beginning.
And last but not least, our overall feelings towards the film.
Overall, you give it a 8.5.
9.5.
Well, I know you give it higher. I'm just averaging out what I was giving. So, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Like I said, you're here for a good time, not a long time. And this is that movie for your good time. I feel like it's also very, like, a guilty pleasure movie. Like, it's so chaotic. Like, you're not necessarily looking for something that's with a deep meaning.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to have some laughs and be entertained. And this is the perfect movie for that.
Definitely just for you or your significant other. Don't show this to your family.
Don't watch this with children, your mom, your homophobic uncle.
It'll just be really awkward.
It'll just be really awkward. I wonder, like, the trailer was pretty obvious that it was gay, right?
I hope so.
Where were all the queer women watching this movie? All right, so it's time for our QPR total. Drive Away Dolls got a 81.4, which is a B.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Pretty solid. Like I said, it's not like the best movie in the world, but it is a really fun time.
Yes.
Yeah, not a lot of depth to it. Just lots of craziness.
And if you're into the transition, I mean, a little weed can go a long way.
Yeah, it felt like the editors were like, yo, I learned this new trick. Check it out.
They just did that.
Yeah, but yeah, great time. Highly recommend for like if you can't find something else to watch, like just check this out. It's out in theaters right now, but if you're seeing this months from now, maybe it'll be on streaming. You better check it out.
Hey.
But anyway, check out the links down below for some fun stuff, as well as our social media links. Check us out, give us a follow, and yeah, let us know if there's anything else you want us to review.
And I think the next movie I think we're looking forward to is the one with Kristen Stewart in it.
Oh yeah, Love Lies Bleeding. Yes.
Yeah.
That'll be our next episode of Not So Straight Out of the Theaters.
So if you're into mostly chicks, I think this might be the one for you.
Muscle mommies, here we come. Bye.